Ever wonder how Balrogs became the flaming terrors of Middle-earth? Turns out, these fearsome fiends started life as Maya spirits before Melkar's corruption transformed them. But did you know there were many Balrogs, each with their own name and distinct power? Join us as we dive deep into the fiery depths of Moria to uncover the untold stories of these legendary demons.
In the depths where shadows hide, fire's wrath and iron pride. Once a warrior sharp and bold, now a memory gets cold. Ashes whisper through the night, burning embers lose their might. Raging flames that used to roar echo silent evermore. From the darkness cries the spark, life unlived leaves a mark. In the fire's grip I stand, forgotten dreams slip through my hand.
Chapter 1: Origins of the Fiery Fiends. Once upon a time, before anyone had even heard of second breakfast, the Balrogs were simply Maya, angelic spirits as sweet as honey cakes. But then came Morgoth, the original bad apple, who turned these spirits into his personal army of grumpy fire demons. Talk about a career change. It's like going from baking cookies to setting them on fire. Such drama. If only they'd stuck to making cookies instead of mischief, eh? We could have had the Great Balrog Bake-Off, with fiery eclairs and molten lava cakes. Oh, and speaking of fiery drama, don't forget to check out my new single, The Balrog's Lament, now streaming on Spotify. It's got all the fire and flair of a Balrog's dance-off, give it a listen. But let's get back to the origins of these fiery fiends. As I was saying, the Balrogs were once Maya, the servants of the Valar, the angelic beings who helped create the world of Arda. They were powerful and beautiful, with the ability to shapeshift and wield great magic. But when Morgoth, the first Dark Lord, rebelled against the Valar and sought to rule over Middle-earth, he corrupted many of the Maya, including the Balrogs. He twisted their once pure spirits with his own dark power, turning them into fearsome creatures of shadow and flame. And so, the Balrogs became Morgoth's most trusted servants, feared and revered by all. They were tall and imposing, with fiery whips and flaming swords, and they could command the very elements of fire and darkness. But even in their new forms, the Balrogs still retained some of their old Maya powers. They could still shapeshift, and some could even fly with great wings of flame. They were also nearly immortal, only able to be defeated by the most powerful of beings. And so, for centuries, the Balrogs served Morgoth faithfully, aiding him in his war against the Valar and the elves. But in the end, it was their undoing. When Morgoth was defeated and cast out of Arda, many of the Balrogs were destroyed in the cataclysmic battle. But some survived and went into hiding, biding their time until they could rise again. And rise they did, centuries later, when Morgoth's servant Sauron rose to power. The Balrogs once again served as his most powerful and terrifying minions, wreaking havoc and destruction wherever they went. But as Sauron's power waned, so did the Balrogs. By the end of the Third Age, it is believed that all but a few were destroyed, leaving only legends and fearsome tales of their once great power. But who knows? Perhaps there are still some Balrogs hiding in the depths of the earth, waiting for the right moment to once again rise up and spread their fiery reign over Middle-earth. And if they do, I hope they bring some of those fiery eclairs with them. Chapter 2: The Balrog Fashion Show. Now, let's talk Balrog fashion. These fiery fellows are always dressed to impress. Picture this: towering figures wrapped in shadow and flame. It's like they're always ready for a dramatic entrance, no wardrobe malfunctions here, just a permanent spotlight. And those whips? Perfect for keeping unruly goblins in line, or maybe just for an epic game of jump rope. Who knew fire could be so versatile? Imagine a Balrog at the annual Elven dance-off, swinging that whip in time to the beat. What a show that would be! They even have that mysterious shadowy aura, like they're always ready for their close-up in the latest Middle-earth blockbuster. I wonder if they use special shadow conditioner to keep it so glossy. And if you're feeling inspired, check out the new Balrog-inspired t-shirts over at cinetechfandom.shop. Perfect for fashion-forward elves and Balrog enthusiasts alike. But let's not forget about the Balrog's signature fiery manner. It's like a constant fireworks display, always keeping things interesting. I bet they have their own personal stylist to keep those flames looking fierce. And let's not overlook their fashion-forward horns. Whether they're long and twisted or short and sharp, they add the perfect touch of edginess to any outfit. Plus, they're great for hanging accessories or holding up a Balrog-sized umbrella on a rainy day. But the real question is, how do they keep their fashion game on point while living in the depths of the earth? Do they have secret fashion underground cities, filled with lava runways and designer lava pools? Or maybe they have a team of goblin tailors, constantly creating new looks for their fiery overlords. Whatever their secret may be, one thing is for sure, the Balrogs know how to make a statement with their fashion choices. So next time you see one strutting their stuff, give them a nod of acknowledgement for their impeccable style. After all, it takes a lot of effort to look that hot all the time. Chapter 3: Legendary Appearances. Now, not all Balrogs were content to stay hidden. Some wanted their moment in the spotlight. Take Gothmog, the Lord of Balrogs. He was the star of many a battle, wielding his axe like a maestro conducting a symphony of chaos. Imagine him striding onto the battlefield, music blaring, ready to rock and roll with a fiery solo. And who could forget Durin's Bane, the Balrog who gave Gandalf a run for his money in Moria? Talk about a dramatic exit. "You shall not pass" became the catchphrase of the century. I reckon it would have been a hit on ElfTube. I can see it now, Gandalf and the Balrog in a viral dance-off, complete with a fiery light show. But not all Balrogs were as flashy as Gothmog and Durin's Bane. Some preferred to stay hidden, using their dark powers to manipulate the world from the shadows. One such Balrog was Lungorthin, also known as the Shadow Lord. He was a master of deception and was said to have the power to cloud the minds of mortals and twist their perceptions. Then there was Thuringwethil, the queen of the Balrogs. She was a fearsome creature, with wings of fire and a voice that could strike terror into the hearts of her enemies. She was also known for her seductive powers, luring unsuspecting victims into her clutches with promises of power and pleasure. And let's not forget about the Balrog of Moria's predecessor, the Balrog of Thangorodrim. This ancient Balrog was said to be the most powerful of its kind, possessing immense strength and dark magic. It was a force to be reckoned with, and its presence alone was enough to strike fear into the hearts of its enemies. But perhaps the most legendary appearance of a Balrog was during the War of Wrath, when the Valar and the Maiar fought against Morgoth and his forces. It is said that the Balrogs, led by Gothmog, were the last to fall in battle, and their fiery destruction was so great that it caused the entire land of Beleriand to sink into the sea. These are just a few of the legendary appearances of Balrogs, but there are countless others throughout the history of Middle-earth. Each one brought its own unique power and terror, leaving a lasting impression on all who encountered them. So next time you hear the distant sound of a fiery whip cracking or the rumble of an earthquake, beware, because you never know when a Balrog might make its legendary appearance. Chapter 4: Lessons Learned. But what can we learn from these fiery fellows? Perhaps it's a reminder that even the mightiest can fall from grace, much like a pie from the baker's shelf. It's always better to choose the path of light, and maybe a good recipe book. Remember, a little kindness goes a long way, even in the darkest of caves. So remember, my little leaflings, even the grumpiest Balrog could have chosen a different path. Perhaps one leading to the great elven bake-off rather than the fiery pits of doom. Imagine a Balrog as a pastry chef, whipping up flaming soufflés that rise as majestically as mountains. And that's the tale of the Balrogs, brought to you by Blixie the Elf. May your days be as bright as the sun and your hearts as light as soufflés. Remember, no matter how shadowy things seem, there's always room for a little bit of light and laughter. Now, who's up for some honey cakes? And don't forget, if you loved today's stories, you can wear the adventure with our new Balrog-inspired t-shirt from cinetechfandom.shop. Perfect for when you're feeling a bit fiery yourself.
In the depths where shadows hide, fire's wrath and